In the last video, we saw Sejun create a plan for a comfortable life in the cave on the 99th floor of the tower, and the first thing he needed was more things of daily use. He also found out about the giant crimson bear, which was the only monster in the area around the cave. Sejun, thinking about how dangerous it was to go outside the cave, has an idea. He plans to ask the poison honeybees to patrol the area and also take their help to tie a rope to trees so that he can climb out. And then he tells Theo that he has some very important missions that only the sales cat can complete, and Theo readily agrees to do them. As the cat merchant goes down to meet the humans on the 38th floor, he finds a large crowd gathered there to buy the cherry tomatoes. But he has a surprise for them. From now on, the sale will be carried out like an auction, with 500 cherry tomatoes sold in one batch. Meanwhile, Sejun gets a quest from the tower manager, who wants to drink the cherry tomato and honey juice and is willing to give a wonderful skill as the quest reward. Sejun fulfills the quest, and the manager is overjoyed and gives him the skill beekeeping level 1 that allows him to gain control of the honeybees and increase their performance. Sejun is really grateful and thanks the manager, who is flattered, but then he asks if the manager was a winged pig, and he gets really angry. And then, at the 38th floor, Theo starts the auction of the cherry tomatoes at the base price of 35 tower coins, and the heated bidding war ends. When Michael, the vice president of the world's largest food company, comes and buys the tomatoes for 100 tower coins, Kim Dong-sik, the leader of the Phoenix Guild, who is really determined to buy the magical cherry tomatoes for his daughter, is distraught and feels betrayed as he finds one of his own guild members escorting Michael here because his elder sister told him to do so. Now, Theo starts the second round of auctions for the next batch of 500 cherry tomatoes. He starts again with 35 tower coins, and Kim Dong-sik, who is determined to win this batch, immediately raises a big bid of 60 tower coins. But Michael outbids him with 100 tower coins again, and Dong-sik is shocked. He shakes one of his teammates, asking him if he had some tower coins to spare, and the other hunters have already given up on winning against the rich man. Theo counts twice and then declares that the bid was successful, and Michael has bought the second batch of cherry tomatoes too. And then he starts the auction for the third round, but Michael stops him, saying that there was no need for that. He would take the third batch for 100 tower coins too. He was buying all 15 cherry tomatoes for 300 coins. Their deal is made, and now Dong-sik is dejected, thinking how it was impossible to fight back against a billionaire, and his teammate tells him that they should aim at the next opportunity. On the other hand, Michael's team has also loaded the tomatoes onto their backpacks and ask him what they should do now. And as he inspects some tomatoes, he is really glad that he came here in person to buy such a wonderful product. He tells his team that they are going to the first floor immediately. Meanwhile, as Theo is packing up his money, the girl who gave him churu last time and her friend approach him. He recognizes her just by that and tries to remember what her name was. And the girl named Suha is glad that the cat merchant remembered her. But after thinking for a while, Theo asks if her name was Buha, and the girl thinks that it was good enough that he even remembered her in the first place, so she decides to go along with him calling her Buha. She asks him if they could take a picture again today, and she has brought more churu to give to him. Theo is really excited to see his new favorite snack, but he controls his desires and says that he does not need churu. Instead, he wants her to give him coffee in return for taking a picture. Suha fiddles around in her bag and then takes out a packet, asking Theo if this was the coffee mix he was talking about. And that is exactly what he wanted. Then Theo asks her if, by any chance, she also had something like salt and pepper. And Suha and her friend think for a while before pooling some of their resources and giving him the salt and pepper they had. They ask if this will be enough, and he thanks them for it. This was another mission Sejun had given his merchant cat employee. He had told him to ask for things like salt, pepper, and coffee if people wanted to take pictures with him. And depending on his performance, he would let him become a salesman for an hour or two. For the sake of getting the coveted position, Theo immediately agreed, and right now, he thinks that with this, he will become a sales cat and spend good time on Sejun's lap again. He takes a lot of pictures with Suha, and she thinks that they came out well too. Theo also thanks her for the deal, and as he stretches his hand out for a handshake, Suha sees his toe beans, and she cannot stop herself from touching and pinching them. They were really soft and felt good, but Theo asks her what she is doing, and she is startled. She says that she couldn't help it because it felt so good, and she was also going to give Theo the churu in exchange for letting her touch his paws, since that was a very relaxing experience for her. Theo is surprised and asks Suha if humans really felt relaxed just by touching their feet, and she says that it was true. She flatters Theo, saying that humans don't have those soft and pretty toe beans, and they are lucky just to touch them because cats usually don't like holding hands. Theo is really shocked, as he has made another great discovery that he can use to earn more. He thinks that his toe beans are a lucky charm for him. Then, Suha's friend asks Theo if he could take a picture with her too, since she was the one who gave him the pepper earlier. He has no problem with that, and after taking the picture, he moves on to the next step. He puts his hands forward and asks the girl to touch his toes, and in exchange, he wants some reward. The girl obliges, and after touching his paws, she gives him some of her rations, including packaged food and butter, among other things. Theo is really happy and laughs loudly, while the girl thinks that he was really cute and that she should also bring Chiru for him next time. Theo is happy that just by letting humans touch his paws and getting rewards, he could become a sales cat for 24 hours. But then he suddenly remembers that he had another mission too, and drops the items immediately. Meanwhile, Suha is uploading the selfies she clicked with Theo on social media, and smiling to herself when he suddenly appears behind her and startles her. He calls her Chirubuha and asks her what she is doing, and she asks him if he has still not left. Theo has an important question for her. He wants to know if she came from a place called the Republic of South Korea. The girl is surprised and asks him how he knows about that, and he replies that he found out because he smelled a familiar scent from her. Suha has not yet understood everything, but Theo asks her if she could help him, and she has no idea what he wants her to do. Back in Sejun's cave, the poison honeybees are collecting nectar from the cherry tomato flowers and pollinating them as Sejun watches over them. Also, they are collecting the honey they make into his water bottle. For each milliliter of honey they give him, Sejun's proficiency in the beekeeping skill goes up a little. And gradually, as the bottle is half filled, the proficiency increases, and the skill reaches level 2 from level 1. Sejun thinks that it was going well. The honeybee population was steadily increasing, and his beekeeping skill was also leveling up quite quickly along with that. Also, the queen bee was laying eggs nowadays, and Sejun had not seen her in a long time. There were also some ambiguous changes in the description of the skill of beekeeping, and he does not know if they will make any difference. But the maximum number of beehives he could own had increased from 1 to 2, and he now thinks that if he can split the beehive later, he will be able to own both of them and increase his efficiency. Also, the bottle is about to get full of honey, and he thinks that he will need another container to store it, and he would be lucky if he could get a bottle. But he can think about that later. Right now, he has a more important task to do. The carrots were ready to harvest, and Sejun picked one out of the ground and called his rabbit friends to eat it. They immediately rush to him as Sejun keeps on harvesting the agility carrots and gains 10 XP for each of them while also increasing the proficiency of his skill harvest level 2. He had only been able to harvest them yesterday for the first time. Before that, he harvested the blessed agility carrot on the day of the blue moon a few days ago, and the rabbits could not control their happiness as they saw the ripened carrots. The type of food that can be eaten and is grown in the cave has increased by 1. Now, Sejun tells them to take one each, and the rabbits are really glad. They even bow down to him, and he asks if it really was such a big thing. Then, as they are sitting around the fire and eating the carrots, Sejun looks at the information window of the agility carrot. It could increase the agility of the consumer by 0.1 points for 10 minutes, and this effect could be stacked down for up to 10 times. Other than that, it had all the health benefits of cherry tomatoes and more. It could not only burn down 10 grams of fat upon being eaten, but it could also boost the vision. And now, as Sejun eats the carrot, he thinks that since they are even more beneficial than tomatoes, the carrots will be really popular once he has enough to sell them. Sejun finishes eating quickly and then moves to harvest the remaining carrots so that they can be stored. The rabbits also help him, removing the leaves from the carrots and transporting them to the storage. And even the black rabbit helps, even though he is really not good at farming. He collapses while carrying some carrots, and Sejun asks him if he is already tired. But it turns out that he was just trying to be smart and eat the carrot while he lay down. But Sejun catches him in the act, and the father rabbit also beats him for stealing. The storage is almost full, and Sejun decides to stop harvesting the carrots for today and wrap up the job. But then suddenly, there is an influx of system messages telling him that he had gained XP from harvesting the carrots, and that now he had finally leveled up. Sejun is also surprised to learn that he has already reached level 10. He has acquired a bonus stat for leveling up, and a quest has also been issued. Sejun asks the Tower Master what the quest was this time, but the manager replies that it was not from him this time. This is a job quest that appears when a hunter reaches level 10. One must clear this quest to get the new class traits and move on to the next level. Sejun has heard about the job quests from the hunters in the real world. For normal hunters, it was often combat-related quests such as monster subjugation, but since he is a farmer, he is sure that the quest will be something different. Sejun opens the quest window and finds that it asks him to expand the cultivable area by 50 square meters. He thinks that this will be easy and gets to it almost immediately. He completes the quest and gets rewards for doing so. He has reached level 11 and acquired 1 bonus stat. Also, he had gained 10 tower coins and 1 job trait as rewards. Sejun is really glad that it is over because it was much more exhausting than he thought it would be. He is tired, and so are the rabbits, who have already collapsed. But at least he has a good job trait as a reward for his hard work. He can now acquire XP every time he creates 1 square meter of the crop field, and he thinks that it was a good thing he completed the quest quickly, as he can gain more experience now. And after eating and planting the carrot roots, the field has increased more than he thought it would. Sejun is too exhausted to do anything else for the day, and he tells his rabbit friends that they should also sleep and finish their jobs tomorrow. As he goes to his spot, the rabbits are also heading back to their burrow. But then their parents stop them from coming inside. They tell them that they cannot come in and slam the door in their faces. The rabbits are sad and shocked. 2 of them bang on the door, while another one just sits there and cries. Sejun also comes to them after hearing their voices and realizes that they have been kicked out of the house. But they were full-grown adults now, so it was time for them to be independent anyway. The rabbits are not really cheered up by what he said, and Sejun says that it is too late to create new burrows right now, so for today, they should just sleep with him. The rabbits cheer up a bit and agree to his plan, and now Sejun sleeps on his bed with his rabbit friends all over him. He laughs, saying that this was also good sometimes. It felt soft and warm. On the other hand, at Theo's location, Dongshik is really stressed that his daughter will nag at him for not being able to buy any cherry tomatoes this time. But then suddenly Suha comes there with Theo, and he is quite surprised to see that the cat merchant has not yet gone back. She says that the cat has something to say to him, and Theo asks Dongshik if he was the leader of the people who came from South Korea. Dongshik says that it was true, but he wants to know why the cat asked him this. And then Theo asks him if he would like to make a contract with him. With this, the chapter ends. What kind of deal will Theo make with Dongshik on Sejun's behalf? What is he planning to do, and what is going to happen next in the story? Will Michael and his company challenge Sejun's monopoly as the tower farmer, or will they just become his best customers? Let us find out more in the next video. So, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like and a comment, and also subscribe to our channel for more videos like this.